Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Nutrition Health Connection Show. And today it's all about cootie-free coffee for you.
Welcome to the Nutrition Health Connection Show with Becky Mulcahy and Cindy Philippi, where we share with you valuable secrets, tips, and the latest discoveries for your true health choices.
So, welcome back. I was just saying thank you, everybody. The support has been tremendous, and we so appreciate that from everybody. That's been awesome. We do love comments and questions in the comment section down below the video. Let us know who you are, say hi, where you're from, whatever. That's all good. We love that. And you're also welcome to contact either of us by our phone numbers or our emails are on here. We love that. So whatever you like to do is all good. We are going to share some information today that affects about 80% of the adult population around the world, which is, of course, coffee. We all love coffee, and sometimes we love it several times a day, which is all good. The average is about 3 cups a day, but if you're like my husband, who was commercial fishing in Kodiak, it was like 3 pots a day, literally. It's kind of crazy amounts of coffee. But he loved it. We all love the mind clarity and the energy boost that coffee gives us. It's kind of, warm and cozy, and that's all good. I particularly have a special affinity for coffee because for the last 5.5 years, I've owned a family business that is the Coffee Cafe in Bellingham, Washington. And so I especially do like coffee, and I know coffee, and we love coffee in my family. So if you're in the Bellingham area, come on by, say hi to my sons, and Kayla, and Heidi, and Vince, and we love that. For peeps who are not really so local, we have people from all around the U.S. and even other countries, so that's awesome. Then we'll give you your information on here. We've always used, for 5.5 years, organic coffee. Down there, only organic and free trade coffee. And today we're going to tell you about why that's important for you to make a choice like that, or at least give you the information so you can determine for yourself, is that a priority, and why that would be. Coffee is one of the most heavily sprayed of all crops in the world, and the multiple chemicals like the fungicides and pesticides and herbicides, many of them are carcinogenic, which means cancer causing, and we don't want to drink those goodies in our coffee, and I don't think a lot of people would if they knew. So today we're going to share some of that information with you guys about your choices and why it's so important, because we all drink it every day, and so it has a major effect over a lifetime. So as usual, our genius Cindy has awesome slides to share with us about some of the information about this stuff today. So we're going to pin her so that she can do some slides that we can go over. Are you ready for that, Cindy?
Are you seeing it? Do you see my coffee slide?
There you are. Yep, ready to go, girl. Looks
okay,
great.
Like Becky said, we've got several different aspects of coffee we're going to cover. So here's some fun coffee facts. It's the world's most consumed drink next to water. The world's largest traded commodity in the world next to oil. That's huge. It is consumed in every country in the world. 500 million cups of coffee are consumed every day in North America. That's 80% of the population that drinks coffee. So coffee's big. And the average amount that they drink is 3 to 5 cups per day. And people will pay up to $4 a cup for their coffee. That's serious business.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that right, Becky?
Yep, it's serious business. It's our family business. It's free means. So, yep, people love their coffee, and it's nice to have good quality.
Yes, definitely. I found a little bit of fun information on the history of coffee I'd like to share. Originally, all coffee was organic and shade grown, and usually it was under fruit and nut trees, which were great because the fruit and nut trees are then putting more nutrients and stuff back into the ground for the coffee. So it was very healthy. But back in the 1970s, full sun varieties were developed because of the popularity of coffee. Of course, then they were trying to grow larger and larger amounts. And the full sun varieties, they wanted to grow them closer together. So what did that mean? It's like our corn crops, our soybean crops, they get them closer and closer together. But that means that they have to fertilize and they have to use pesticides. Because when plants are very, very close together, they easily transmit pests from one to the next because it's easy for them to move. The plants are touching each other. And then, of course, with all those plants in the small area of ground, it's taxing the nutrients that are in the ground. Now, this also has led the increase in, or I mean, the use of the full sun varieties led to increased deforestation, because then you could clear a place and put a lot more coffee plants in there. But as we all know, deforestation has been very detrimental to the ecosystem, to animal habitats, to animal populations like migratory butterflies and songbirds, and a lot of those, because they lost their homes. So these new full sun varieties with the pesticides and the fertilizers and all this stuff really is not all that healthy for you.
Exactly.
So do you want to talk a little bit about why organic, Becky?
Sure. You know, that our health is really deteriorating in some ways, and you know, we all know the toxic load that we're carrying is a lot. It's a lot and increasing with air pollution, water pollution, all the pollution. And coffee is heavily sprayed. It's one of the most heavily sprayed of all crops. And we don't want to be drinking that stuff every day in and day out. We love our coffee, but, you know, it's detrimental to the flavor of coffee. It tastes much better without all that stuff in it. And it's much healthier for you. The coffee has actually got great, there's 1,000 compounds in coffee, and many of them are very healthy for you. They do have great health benefits, but you don't want to outweigh that with carcinogenics that are sprayed all over your drink that you're drinking every day. And so the EPA has literally said 30% of insecticides, 60% of the herbicides, and 90% of fungicides are carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means cancer causing. Who needs that? No, thanks. I don't want no cooties in my coffee. So they tend to accumulate in body fat, and they cause damage to the nervous and the reproductive systems. And you know, you can imagine all the different what systems those affect throughout your whole body. So we just don't need to go there. There's a better way to do this.
Yes, definitely. And then additional, health concerns is if you're pregnant or a nursing mother, because these chemicals get passed on to the fetus and the nursing baby. And these chemicals have been linked to developmental and behavioral abnormalities. So not good, not good. Thus, drinking organic coffee eliminates the potential health risks of conventional coffee. So if you're concerned about your health, your better choice is to go with the organic, because then you don't have to worry about if that stuff's going to affect you, how it's going to affect you, or your children, or any of that.
Yeah, it's true. And like down at Supreme Bean Coffee Cafe, our coffee shop in Bellingham, we've always done the organic coffee, and you just don't then have to worry about it. Yeah, it costs a little bit more per pound, but you know what? Our customers and us, we love that. It's well worth it. That incremental tiny bit to not have all that stuff sprayed all over our food and our drinks is worth it. It's awesome, and this is why.
Yes. Another thing this is something I learned about recently, because I wasn't really aware of this, is fair trade. And you can look up information on fair trade at fairtradeusa.org. It is a nonprofit organization, and what they're trying to do is they want to create economic, social, and environmental improvements for people around the world. So instead of creating dependency on aid, they used a market-based approach that gives the farmers fair prices and the workers safe conditions and the entire community resources for fair, healthy, and sustainable lives. So they not only affect the farmer, but they also affect the community.
That's a wonderful combination. And quite often you'll see the organic coffees are fair trade. Ours are down at the coffee shop, and it's important, that all that stuff resonates throughout, all of our cultures. And as we know, the only coffee that's grown in the U.S. is Kona coffee, which is fabulous quality coffee. But a lot of coffees are grown in other places like South America and Africa, and where they need more help with making it more fair to the farmers that are actually in these situations. And especially, like their families, their little kids and stuff are in the fields, and if they're spraying this stuff on there, that's not really cool. So it's
Right.
all a win-win deal all around.
Yeah. So when it comes to coffee, well, and in any fair trade commodity, dealing with farmers, agricultural commodities, it helps the farmers escape poverty. And that's so important because farmers, especially those who are in remote locations, they don't have any financial credit. So they're vulnerable to the middlemen who offer them cash at a fraction of what the true value is of their commodity. So fair trade companies mean that they're not doing that. They're taking the middleman out of there, and they're giving the farmers what their commodity is worth. A fair exchange of cash, so that they can keep their land, and they can invest in quality equipment and in their lifestyle. So they're not living in poverty and in the dirt. And so they guarantee farmers a minimum price, and they link them directly with importers and create that long-term sustainability that's so important for farmers. So it's just, all the way around. It's just, I want to start checking everything out that I buy that I can, to find out if it's fair trade. And Becky was talking about all the children that are involved in all of this. And here's a picture from, is this Nicaragua?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, where this is an area that is growing coffee, and they're being paid the fair trade amount, and it's affecting all their children. They're growing up healthier. They have better quality of life. It's only fair that they get, because coffee is such a huge business, instead of some middleman coming in and taking advantage of them, which just isn't right.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's the real deal right there. And this is a fairly newly purchased plantation, so they're just starting to get the benefits of that more fair interaction and treatment. So we love that. I would think it's a win-win. It's the way it should be.
Yes, definitely. Now another one, which I wasn't aware of either. I'm not into coffee as much as Becky is, so I never learned all this stuff. But shade-grown coffee, like I said in the history, originally it all was shade-grown, because that's where they grew. Because a coffee plant is a sun-intolerant plant. Now, when you grow them in shade, they grow slower, so they are naturally lower in caffeine and acid, which is really, really important. And they have a superior flavor.
Yeah. A lot of people really prefer the lower acid like that. Like across from our shop, we're across from the biggest fire station in Bellingham, and the firemen come over there. They want the low acid coffee because it's easier on their stomachs. And so that's a good thing. The shade is important, and also the higher the elevation that it's grown at is also provides superior flavored beans. And so those two things are, if you have it growing like it's supposed to naturally in the rainforest, protecting the rainforest, again, you got a win-win all the way around. That's the way it should be growing, and that's what's the biggest health benefit to us.
Yes, definitely. And speaking of health benefits, perfect segue, Becky. Here's some bullet points we pulled out of the health.com article. that's on the National Institutes of Health coffee study that they did. So their conclusion was that it may lower the risk of, I keep forgetting to shut that off, may lower the risk of dying from chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. They studied 400,000 people for 13 years between the ages of 50 and 71, and the coffee drinkers actually had a lower mortality rate. And the benefits could be seen with only 1 cup per day. Coffee contains at least 1,000 that they're aware of compounds, including the health-promoting antioxidants. And antioxidants, if you, we did a show on antioxidants like 2 shows ago, and antioxidants are critical for our health because our bodies are bombarded all the time with the free radicals, and our body produces antioxidants, but it can't keep up with everything we're being bombarded with. So anything that has antioxidants in it is very, very helpful. And in that study, regular and decaf rated about the same, which means that maybe caffeine doesn't have anything to do with it, but then, as we'll talk about when we get to the decaf slides, that decaf is not completely decaffeinated. So there is decaf and decaffeinated, so it could be that caffeine is what is getting these results, but as I was saying, there's over 1,000 compounds that are in coffee, because coffee comes from the coffee bean, which is actually the seed, and the seed of a plant is usually nutrient packed. So because that's where everything comes from when the plant starts growing, so it's very nutrient packed, and that's why animals eat seeds, birds eat seeds, because it's very nutrient packed. Decaf. Did you want to talk about decaffeinated coffee, Becky?
Sure. And one other point I wanted to make too on the previous thing is there is over 1,000 compounds, like they're saying, in coffee beans, and science tends to want to isolate things and say this is due to caffeine or this is due to this, XYZ, whichever thing. How about it's all of it working together? How about the synergy of the entire coffee bean is working together to help us? It's just healthy. It's healthy if you don't get the bad sprays and stuff on it. It works out really well that way for that reason. As far as the decaf, I think we're on the next slide though, Cindy.
Yeah, I just since you were talking about it.
Oh, okay. By law, decaffeinated coffee has to have 97% of its caffeine removed. That's what the law says. No decaffeination process removes it 100%. Most of it. It can be used. You can use different methods to get there. Most of them are chemical, which again is harmful. But there's the Swiss water process that you can use for decaf coffee. Again, it takes longer. It's more intensive, but you're not using chemicals on it. It's much, much healthier for you. So a lot of the more organic or free trade coffees, they're going to use your Swiss water process decaffeination process, which is way healthier for us. A 12-ounce cup contains 3 to 18 milligrams of caffeine. 8.4-ounce can of Red Bull, by comparison, contains 80 milligrams of caffeine. And the average amount of caffeine in regular coffee can be 140 to 300 milligrams. It varies actually quite a bit because there's a bunch of different processes and ways to get there. So you're going to have different results in the end. The variety of the beans, there's a lot of different kinds of coffee beans. Some are superior to others, and again, it depends on how they're grown and where they're grown, when they're harvested, how they're processed, all of that matters. Consumer Reports found a range from 3 to 32 milligrams.
Yeah, in the decaf products. So just because it says that it's decaf doesn't really mean that it's really low in caffeine. Like it says, they average around 3 to 18 milligrams of coffee, but the Consumer Reports study found some that were as high as 32 milligrams. So, just so you're aware, if you're trying to find decaf, there's variety within the type of bean that's used, and a lot of times it's a blend. I mean, most of the time, the coffee you buy is a blend. Is that not true, Becky, from your,
Yeah,
is it
it is.
ever
We have
just
proprietary blend. Yeah, it is.
yeah, so
There's a lot of flavors to coffee. It's like wine or anything else. There's a lot of varietals, and different ones appeal to different people. So we have custom proprietary blends that we have at our coffee shop, and that's pretty common. There's different kinds that people like. So
right. Okay, let's see. Green coffee. Here's another new topic to me. I don't watch Dr. Oz, so I didn't hear the show in 2012 that got this started. But the coffee bean, oh, that's what I was saying earlier. The coffee bean is the seed. Well, then if you take the coffee bean and don't roast it, then it's called green coffee because it's still the green seed. The roasting process reduces the amount of chemical called chlorogenic acid, which is thought to have health benefits for heart disease, diabetes, weight loss, and others. And it became popular for weight loss when it was mentioned on the Dr. Oz show in 2012, where it was stated that it burns fat fast, so you didn't need exercise and diet to lose weight. And of course, any type of weight loss program that says you don't have to exercise or diet is going to attract a lot of attention from people.
yeah, it's crazy. The green coffee market is exploding in popularity, and there's a lot of health benefits to green coffee. Just like regular coffee, it's a whole new other industry, and it's super much catching on. Up around here, it's hard to find the green coffee because it's sold out everywhere all the time. So that's a big, hot commodity right now. So
yes, definitely. So, in conclusion, when you're selecting your coffee, what you want to consider: is it organic? Is it shade grown? And is it fair trade certified? And if you want decaf, is it Swiss water decaf or is it chemically decaf? So I think those are what you want to look at and make your choices from there.
exactly, no cooties. We don't want to be drinking cooties. Who needs that?
Really. And I'll come back to the light. And there I am. Did you unpin me?
Yep.
I don't need to be the star when it's just my face.
Oh yeah, you got to be on there sometimes. You're always hiding behind your slides.
Yeah, really, that's me.
It's all good. Yeah, I love those slides. That's really cool, and it's nice to see the picture of the kids at the plantation, and I love the slides too. So, but it's nice to see your little face once in a while too. So it's all good.
Okay. Let people know that if you're watching it on the live show app on our Facebook page, the Nutrition Health Connection page, there's a button. There's 3 green buttons. The one is to submit questions. You can put your comments in. We love it when you put your comments in at the bottom, but if you don't want to be live asking questions, you could click on the green button and submit a question or comment about this or any other health topic, because we'll be covering a new one every single week. So we like to know what you guys are interested in. And nutritional product information is the center button. And then if you're wanting to look at healthy coffee choices, the Enjoy Healthy Coffee button is also there for you to go in and explore some of the information that's available there.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got the organic coffee button at the top of the Nutrition Health Connection page, and there's choices out there. So now you know the reasons why there's choices out there is because there's good reason for that. And we want to invite you back next Wednesday. We're going to be, of course, doing our show every Wednesday still. And one of them, maybe next week, maybe the following week, we're going to actually do a holiday show, which with healthy, awesome holiday gifts. So we think that's going to be a fun show. People will be liking that, and we've gotten good feedback on the idea of that already. So because there's a lot of different things that people can do for better quality, fun, good Christmas stuff. So we'll be looking at doing that, and we love the feedback. Please put your comments down below, questions, and I think we're wrapping up, aren't we?
Okay, sounds good.
We appreciate you coming back, guys, and we'll see you next Wednesday.
Okay, bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.